Hello and welcome to Paris, where I'm joined today by Anja, and we're going to be talking about digitalisation in the energy sector. Anja, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for the invitation.
What are the challenges that you're seeing for utilities, not just here, but maybe they are globally the same challenges?
We are seeing quite global challenges. I think the challenges are mainly operational in terms of figuring out how do I continue to run what I have with the performance and quality levels that I have to deliver, and at the same time transition to a very, very new reality. And it's not just a new infrastructure reality, it's really a new reality in terms of how the utilities operate. There's a huge change management component to it. Really, the essence of the challenge of any digitalization. And I think what we're seeing is that it's the same challenge across the world, pretty much. All, roughly speaking, technically there's some differences in terms of how the grids are built out, but roughly speaking it's the same challenges that they have. At the same time, there are differences by country in terms of the amount of push that they get. So some get more consumer push, right? The more vocal, more digitally savvy consumer base. In Northern Europe, for example, you see that. Some have more push from regulators. And so that's where we are seeing the difference, more in terms of how quickly the utilities are looking to shift, not the fundamental problems that they have to overcome.
And that consumer push that you talked about is obviously increasing all the time, having the consumer having gone from being completely passive in yesteryear to now being active and interactive. Yeah. And how do you see that playing out in the future? Is that just going to continue to snowball with the pressure from the consumer?
I think it's quite fascinating. I mean, we could talk about other things in energy because we're seeing this prosumer behavior in lots of different parts of our world. We're talking climate change and other movements. And I find it quite fascinating because it is actually snowballing, I think, you're right, is the right word. And the question is how much pressure it puts on utilities. In many countries, utilities today do not have to operate under a traditional commercial enterprise environment, right? So in theory, they could say, sorry, Mr. Customer, you may not be happy, but I don't care. Now, we're not seeing that. In some places, it's really starting, there's a real realization of saying, I have to be able to offer my customer, my end client, an experience, not just, it's not just providing, it's no longer just a utility, right? And that change in mindset is actually also causing some trouble for some of them, where they are now starting to offer more customer-centric services, SMS and telling you in advance what's going to happen, etc., which is requiring them to digitalize their operations much more than what they've had to do in the past.
Thanks very much for joining me today.
Pleasure, thank you.
Don't forget to tune into our YouTube channel for more great content.